Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This, and we are going to get back to our Fragile World sea turtle. Today I am working on the details of the sea grasses and corals in the yellow to red color range. I have 6 colors. I've added a 7th, that's 1034. Here they all are. I'm not actually sure the 3 reds if they're in that order. You'll notice that the barrels of the 3 look very similar, but they are not as similar as they look. The magenta, I believe, 930. 195 is the darkest. So we've got, normally I would hold them in my hand, but I have them down. Okay, so 914, 1012, 1034, that's the one I added for the yellow items to give them a little shading. 1033, 924, 930, and 195. So I am going to be popping around, and yes, I'm going to jump about a little bit. I did already give, in the last episode, a little rundown of my process for the layout and the color tones and where I placed them, so you can go back to that episode if you are curious. What I have done, and I did this in the first episode, is I went and blocked the colors using the lightest and darkest of each of my six colors. So I have 6 different kind of color variations to take all of these sea life on the back of the turtle and make it varied and interesting. So I am starting while we talk with the jasmine, but I'm going to actually switch. That's the middle color. So for these yellow items, there's the brain. Kind of looks like a clamshell, but I'm sure it's not. Another little brain. So I have picked little areas that are just these 3 colors. And on that first day, I did the lightest and the darkest so that I could just kind of get a general framing and see if I liked the balance. So from there, on episode 2, I did the teal, green, teal, blue, and purple. Today we are going to work on the yellows to the reds. And then the fun is going to happen because I've got a set of Languo gel pens, the fine liners, and I'm going to do my own attempt at no line coloring, which I have minimal experience with, and it is going to be a blast. I will already say I've made a couple of copies of this work as it was and mocked up more of what my plan is to kind of see if I'm able to achieve what my goal is. And I am pretty satisfied with the results. So this again is 1012. It is, you'll see I was using it on the orange to red. I also use it on the yellow. I am probably going to pop in, you'll see that on these blues I added a little purple because these combos that I have picked range in multiple colors. So even on the yellow here, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add in some yellow, some of the orange to reds. Just a little hint. So now we should be getting some nice middle tones on our yellows. Again, the shape of sea life I picked as kind of the brain looking items. The antler ones here are the ones that go orange to red. And then a couple of things like this little blob might be a rock. I made it yellow. And then this sort of looks like it might be a clamshell, but I don't think it is. I'm now going to my added color tone of 1034. I don't have my craft glasses and I can feel that I would like them. And what I might find, well, we'll see. I'm going to not worry about, I tend with yellows, I don't know if you guys do this, but I tend to use a bit of a gray for the darker shadows, because the shadow really does cast a gray. It's not so necessary, I think, on colors that you have a true dark range to go to, like this dark purple in here. I do want to keep it light and bright. Kerby also had drawn in his own shadow lines, so I'm not sure if I am going to need it. This is coming along nicely. See how this rock now, we're getting the depth with this added color. And if I hadn't mentioned it already, this whole entire year, it took me 13 months to color Small Victories. And in that 13 months of coloring front to back, I used all of my pencils and I rotated through the sets. This particular set, being the Prismacolors, is a set that I actually never initially wanted to own. And through the process of using them, using my Excel random set chooser, they got used as equal as any other set. And I have thoroughly enjoyed learning how to use them. I think more of I guess I didn't have a dislike, but I was predestined to judge them for quality issues, because that seems to be like the main thing people complain about is quality issues, and then a lot of people don't like their softness. But now that I've used all of my pencils over and over and over and over, these don't feel so soft anymore. They just feel like pencils. It's pretty crazy. My first experience using them was to do a review of them, and they were so messy for me. I don't know what the deal was, but I am much more familiar with colored pencils in general. All right, so that was a whole bunch of 1034. I do want to come back with the cream, which is the lightest color, 914, and I want to kind of burnish across the top and minimize my whites. I am using this all over on my antler growth thingies here. I will come back in and brighten it all up. And then on the little yellow brains, as we call them, technical term. I am okay with imperfections and colors overlapping other colors. That just is okie dokie with me. I have not even thought through what I'm going to do with the background. I'm thinking pan pastel to keep it fast, and aqua colored. So we'll see where we go from there. I am using, by the way, which I think is really interesting, medium to hard pressure. Probably not hard, medium hard. So I look at this, and if I kept this little antler creation all by itself, I see all sorts of flaws in my coloring. But because of the busyness of everything, I am not going to be overly nitpicky. Okay, so again, this is cream, so I'm just glazing over. This is very light. I'll have to come back and do a little more of the medium color. All the way up here. Let's see if we stay focused. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, this reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book. And it's not. It's like a realistic sea turtle. I don't know what the deal is. It is possible that they've left these two blank. They look somewhat like this antler. This looks like an artichoke. So now I'm starting to see areas that need more depth. I've got 1034, and in this braid, we need some depth. Okay, I like that. Now I am looking specifically, so up here, let's get up here. Changing the angle mainly for the comfort of my hand. This looked a little undercolored to me. And then over here looks like it needs a little more depth. I'm trying really hard not to accidentally color the fish. Uh-oh, I hear Lucky. I may pause and open the door for him. Hub was leaving, so I didn't want to wait, and I closed my big glass doors so he can stare at me. I hear him now going, "Hey Mom, let me in." He's really very good. Okay, I will return. I have returned. The cat is back in the room. He is made happy. Okay, I am going to move on to some of the darker tones in the orange to red. So I'm going to grab mineral orange. I think I'm going to sharpen this one, because I do want to keep the colors crisp. I'm creating that blend between the red and the yellow. I do not believe I used this color yet, so it should be adding a lot of depth. It's like the transition color between the reds and the yellow. I am not overthinking this. I am going in little ovals, I see. Medium pressure. I'm thinking of the depth, that these are all layered from front to back, and I want to make sure in each little nook I have some dark shadows for each of the layers. Hi, Lucky. We'll see if he says anything to you guys. No, he's focused on something outside. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I've spent my whole life working with animals, all different kinds of animals. And I love to train them to do things kind of outside of the norm. I did all the traditional, you know, I did obedience training. I did 4-H, obedience with dogs. Showed horses in the traditional stuff, but I also liked to teach unusual things. You know, like I'm the one that would teach the horse how to bow, how to shake, you know, pick up their foot without me actually having to work at it. You know, like I'd just walk over and say foot and they'd pick up the foot, that kind of thing. So this kitten, and every cat I've ever had, except for Bluebell, that was kind of my heart pet that I saved from the barn, she was not a trick cat. I never taught her, made her work, I guess, for anything. That just wasn't, in that time of my life, that wasn't what I was into. But my first cat was a Siamese. She was actually a Siamese mix, so she could have learned tricks. But my Maine Coon learned the traditional shake, sit, down, high five, and then sitting up, kind of the basic stuff. But he lost interest at about, I guess Lucky is 9 months now, and at about that age, our Maine Coon was really ultra mellow, and he just did not care about tricks. So I always made him do those things, but he would like do them one time and then just walk off. So this kitten is so in tune with people. It's just really, like just now he was outside and Hub mentioned he's watching the lady weed eat the neighbor's yard, and she's coming right by him with a noisy weed whacker, and he just is always curious what humans are doing and very interested in them. It's like humans, his life revolves around us humans. So he learned his tricks. He learned all those basic tricks. I'm going to move to, there's 3 burgundies. Boy, they look very similar. Here they are. We've got crimson, red, magenta, and pomegranate. Pomegranate being the darkest. And so I might add a little bit of this poppy red, which is kind of an orangey red, in some areas where I think we could use it. A little pop of light. I haven't even used this red. I think the only thing I've used is 195, which is the dark. So anyhow, he still is 100% enthralled with doing tricks, eating treats. Now he's so playful that in between a trick, so he will shake, and then I have to set the treat down and he has to play with it. So that's the only little bit of an annoying thing. And you know, no pet is going to be perfect for you. So I must wait patiently for him to, oh, I'm sorry, I think you might not have seen what I was doing here, brightening up this antler hair. So he plays with his toy, his treat, and eventually eats it, and he pops right back up, ready for the next trick. It's really cute. So now what I've done to expand his trick, the tricks he can do, he now can shake with either hand or either paw. So shake with one paw, then shake with the other paw, and I'm tricking him into having to pay attention to which paw I'm asking for. He's just so bright. It's crazy. He now rolls over. So everything he does, they shake. Oh, he spins. He now spins both ways, shakes with either paw, and rolls both ways. It's just so funny to see how willing and just cats are so aloof. Every cat I've had, even the Siamese cats who are very highly interactive, were still always very aloof and independent. And this cat, no independent. He wants to be with his people. He even walks on the harness better than the Maine Coon. Oh, this is looking really nice. I love this poppy, giving a very bright sunset tone. Okay, where are we at here? And then my mom, she's an animal person. In fact, most of my upbringing with animals is thanks to her love for animals and horses, and she has had lots of cats. She has never seen a cat do tricks like this. Didn't even know it was something they can do. She goes, he does those tricks better than my dog. And her dog is pretty good at tricks. And he is willing to go multiple rounds before he really, I can tell where he's waning a little bit. And so I try not to overwork him and lose his interest, because I want to keep the tricks a special time, you know, of us bonding or what have you. That is a little fish there. So yeah, I've sharpened this, and I am actually really getting into the little nooks and trying to add random specks of this bright red. So this whole side has been done. Here's the original, sorry about that. So these two areas are just the dark, the light, and the middle, but not the brights. And this hasn't got any brights either. Now you'll see I'm kind of doing linear rather than circles, because I want just little hot, fiery, orangey red lines popping up. Now I mentioned that some of these yellows, this is a yellow, that I want a little bit of the red tone, so I am adding a little bit there. Over here I made like these sideways shelf things yellow. So I'm going to add a little bit of red, just a hint, a little hint of red here. So this is an antler, and then behind it is the yellow. Here's our rock that I've turned into some sort of spongy formation. Can't wait to get a dark burgundy on that one. So this week has been once a month. I work on my other channel, and this week was a bunch of medical stuff and doing that video. And then I stuck my finger, this is orange ink, orange, listen to me, a dark green ink that was the primary color used in this kit, and I cannot get it out of my fingernail. So if you've noticed my dark fingernail, yes, that is inky fingers. I figure one day I'll be tired. I've done the kit videos, that channel, for 7 years, maybe 8 now. 8 years. Wow, 8 years in July. That needs a little bit of color, doesn't it? I'm going to grab a yellow and get some yellow here behind the fish. This is the middle yellow. And now you can see I just, my hand is just seeing opportunities for this brighter It's not the cream. It is 1012. And I think of this type of a page is that I could keep going. I could spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. We'll see when I decide I'm done. Okay, back to, that was the poppy. Let's see, I'm gonna try to look back. And I say it was poppy red, but it's actually, that's crazy. It's crimson red that I've been using. I don't know where I saw poppy at. So what I've been using, the bright red, is actually crimson red, 924. I apologize. These are not colors I am familiar with, so I will be making mistakes in my color callouts. Try to be as accurate as I can. Oh, I love the vibrancy. I hope you guys are seeing this unfold. The next color is 930. It is called Magenta. And then I have one deeper color. I see that this has quite a bit of white still. I'm going to grab the cream. Now I'm going to add that bright yellow, 1012, Jasmine. And back to magenta. My artichoke here is missing a little bit of that bright yellow. I might have to set this crimson red down and keep grabbing it on accident. Very light glazing. This is not as dramatic as the blue and purple, but I think in the end it will help with the final cohesiveness. I love that little yellow brain in the corner. All right, deepening up. I'm now ready to go back in. This is pomegranate. This is the darkest color. Still watching these two elements in the middle, see what I want to do with those. This is pretty sharp. So I feel there's a waxy, where I've added lots of layers, I can feel the waxiness, but I still think I'm able to kind of smoosh in these darker colors over the top. So I hope you guys are seeing the intensity now coming out. I'm getting quiet as I focus. All right, let's come over here. This one looks more like a porcupine. I'm not really sure about that shape right there. I'm grabbing some bright yellow. This looks like it's missing its bright yellow tones to bring out like the fiery orange red, which is crimson red. All right, now we have back to the orange, mineral orange, 1033. If you guys hear the tinkling, that is the cat. He has grabbed a toy and brought it up to his little bed, and he just dropped it. We'll make that orange color. I am okay with some of these being more dark orange and some lighter. Well, hello, Lucky. What are you doing? Oh, and now he's playing with a pencil. Oh, you're so helpful. Thank you. He says, here, let me arrange these and let me chew on them. Hey, hey, hey. No. We are rearranging and putting the pencils over here on the edge where he can't get to. That way, I can continue on. All right, so I see a lot of depth. Do I want to commit? I do think I'm going to take these little leafy bits, and I think yellow is good. Grabbing the dark, my 1034, which was my darkest, my shadow for the orange, called Goldenrod. Yeah, I like that. I think that is a good choice. All right, for the most part, there's we still have this depth behind the fish that I haven't colored yet. I'm going to probably leave that for a bit. I do have a couple of little fluffs here and there. I'm going to save those for very last. I'm going to grab the purples. I don't believe we did the purple. All this purple. Now when I'm looking at this, these purples all don't look done. And I believe I still had that left to do. So here are the 3 purples. Lavender, dahlia, and purple and dark purple. 934, 1009, and 931. I have not used the middle tone. These have been the dark and the light. It's like a little moonscape planet. This I am using super light pressure because these are pretty intense colors. I see, I told you I was going to leave these, but I'm seeing a need for a little pop of purple here and there. Very good. Moving up here. Back down here. I think this is too light. And it's behind these little guys. Again, this is not even the darkest color. This is the middle tone. move over here to the right side. That's the middle tones. This could be used a little more. I can change this. This gets quite dark, which is why I was using very light pressure. I think my next color I'm inclined to go with is the dark. Finish off with the light, and then we will be finished. We're at 42 minutes, so I have to work pretty fast here. This is the darkest. It is 931. Coming along, coming along. Concentrating on purple shadows. Okay, I think for the moment I'm going to call that good. We're at 45 minutes, and the next step is going to be the Linguo gel pens. Oh, can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Anyhow, do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome back if you are returning. I hope you all will join me on the next one. Until then, everyone, take care.